Have you ever played Diablo, League of Legends, Dota? You know that blue orb sitting in the corner? When it's empty, you're powerless. No abilities, no game changers, just basic, weak attacks. But when it's full, spells, ultimates, total control. Now let me tell you something. Game designers didn't just pull this out of thin air. And the funny thing is, they didn't even invent it. Ancient wisdom has been teaching this exact principle for thousands of years. You have that exact orb inside you. Wait, what? How did I get here? There is more. There it is again. The exact same phrase. Everywhere I look. Nofap. Nofap. So I decided to dig deeper. What people were sharing was honestly shocking. Superpowers? Really? No way. I had read so many exaggerated stories about it, and I decided to give it a try. I went 30 days without masturbating, but there was no superpower at all. There were a few small changes. My attention span got better, I had more energy, and best of all, I felt less lazy and sluggish. I guess that was the superpower people were talking about. Still, I didn't really feel comfortable during the process. I found myself getting irritated more easily, and on some days, I just didn't feel like doing anything. After 30 days, I decided to put nofap aside. But I really liked having a better attention span and feeling less sluggish, so I started looking deeper into the science behind it. I did a lot of research, from scientific texts to ancient teachings, and everywhere I looked, I found the same answer. From the world of science to civilizations across the world thousands of years ago. And they had all discovered the exact same thing. What was sharpening my focus? What was raising my energy? According to them, it was life force. Raw energy. 100 years ago, a man came along and argued that the invisible force driving you out of bed in the morning, pushing you to strive, and making you chase after things comes from sexual energy. Sigmund Freud. He gave this energy a name, libido. For Freud, libido wasn't just about sex. It was also the driving force behind our creativity, ambition, and passion. He believed this energy shouldn't be suppressed, but redirected. When properly channeled into art, work, or achievement, he believed it could lead to remarkable results. Freud called this sublimation, transforming raw energy into something higher and more meaningful. In other words, even one of the founders of modern psychology recognized the same thing 100 years ago. There's a force within you, and you get to choose where you direct it. But Freud wasn't the first person to discover this idea. He was simply one of the first to give it a scientific name. Thousands of years before him, different civilizations around the world had already recognized the same truth. They just gave it different names. Let's go to India, a land where different religions, teachings, and ways of seeing the world have intertwined for thousands of years. Here, the search for meaning has taken countless forms, from meditation and self-discipline to devotion, philosophy, and the pursuit of inner peace. In the Tantric tradition, sexual energy is believed to exist in its rawest form, at the lowest, most fundamental level. They call this kundalini. But Tantra doesn't teach you to run away from this energy. No, quite the opposite. It tells you to recognize it and then learn to raise it. By moving this energy through the body's energy centers, the chakras, raw sexual energy is gradually transformed into a higher state of consciousness. What starts out as nothing more than an impulse can, as it rises, become focus, creativity, and according to some traditions, even spiritual awareness. And pay attention to this. Tantra doesn't tell you to suppress the energy. It tells you to transmute it. You're not destroying the energy, you're simply transforming it. That distinction is critical, and in a moment, you'll see why. Let's move to China. In the Taoist tradition, there are three treasures: jing, qi, and shen. Jing is considered the densest, most fundamental form of energy in the body. It's partly associated with the reproductive system, and is seen as the foundation of your physical strength, endurance, and vitality. According to Taoist masters, with the right practice, jing can be transformed into a subtler form of energy. Qi represents the life force that nourishes your body and keeps you going. And when qi is refined even further, it becomes shen, mental clarity, inner awareness, and spiritual clarity. Dense steam, First water, then vapor, and eventually it becomes completely invisible. That's exactly what the Taoists were pointing to. Raw, heavy energy, through discipline, gradually evolves into its most subtle and most powerful form. And what's interesting is that this wasn't taught as something exclusive to men. Taoist texts also describe how women can preserve and transform their own energy in a similar way. So in the end, it's not really about gender, it's about discipline. And things are about to get even more interesting. Let's look at another important ancient system from India, Ayurveda, or whatever it is. And this one matters because it directly teaches you how to manage and preserve your vital energy. In Ayurveda, there's a concept called ojas, the body's purest and most refined reserve of vitality. It's seen as the essence that supports your immunity, mental clarity, and resilience. According to Ayurvedic texts, ojas develops through the gradual refinement of the body's tissues, and the final, most subtle stage is associated with reproductive tissue. In other words, when raw energy is properly preserved and nourished, it's believed to become a higher form of vital strength. So what weakens ojas? Excessive stress, poor sleep, and uncontrolled impulses. And what strengthens it? Discipline, balance, and conscious living. Do you see the pattern? Tantra says it in India. Ayurveda says it too. Taoism says something similar in China. And Freud was saying something surprisingly similar in Vienna. These were people who came from completely different traditions, separated by time and place. And yet, they all seem to point toward the same idea. Now let's put it all together. Mana, libido, kundalini, jing, ojas, different names, different cultures, different centuries. But they all point to one simple idea. There is energy within you, and you get to choose where that energy goes. Everyone seems to misunderstand nofap. Nofap isn't simply about avoiding sexual release. No, that's not the point. This libido, this mana bar, exists in both men and women. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We all have this same raw potential within us. And most people think this energy is just something to be spent mindlessly on temporary pleasure. They're wrong. This energy is what helps you. Push harder during a workout. Look someone in the eyes and speak with confidence in a meeting. Keep your hands steady when you have to make a difficult decision. Change the way you see it. This energy isn't here only for sexuality. It's here to fuel your life. And when you learn to direct it toward the right things, you can become a completely different person in every area of your life. Thank you for watching this far. Stoic Goat is out. Peace out.